Bum ba da da dee da da dee da 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 dum. Bum ba dee da dee da da ba da 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 ba dum. Bum ba da dee da dee da 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 dum. Bum ba da dee da ba da da dum. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, and welcome to this finale of the 6th season of the Tuesday telecast. I'm so glad that you're here. And welcome to all of my past guests who are seeing this. Today, we are talking about who you are, who I am, who we are, what do we want, and what do we love? What do I love? What do you love? You've heard me say this before. It's an amazing journey to be here and realize the importance of love in what we do in our lives. So, I want to give a shout out to everybody right now on the continent of Africa. Thank you for being here. And everybody on the continent of North America, thank you for being here. Everybody on the continent of South America, thank you for being here. And everyone on the continent of Europe, thank you for being here. And there may be one person here from the continent of Asia. Thank you for being here. My Scandinavian friends, brothers, and sisters, thank you for being here. So here we are. What do you love? And you can shout this out in the comments. I'm going to try to stay abreast of the comments, and also let me know where you're viewing from. You don't have to. I might not see you. I'm trying to see the different channels that this is on. If you're on Facebook, or you're on LinkedIn, or you're on YouTube, doesn't matter. I will try to see what is going on in the comments. So, what do I love? I love a lot of things, and love is something that we think about in different ways. And some of us are kind of messed up about that love, right? Have you ever been in a place, in a time, in a space, when you really felt threatened? You may have been reacting hard, and you may have felt hurt. You may have been hurt. You may have been very hurt. Or you may have been experiencing loss. Hello from the UK. I see somebody just shouted out that they're coming in from the UK, but I can't see who it is. Hello, thank you, and welcome. Whatever it is that this event, or is time in your life, or maybe right now, when you have so much loss, so much pain, so much non-alignment, that suddenly you're just crying for what you love. And it becomes very, very clear. That clarity is your heart busting its way through. And it's different than that panicked feeling of, oh, I'm never going to have this, that, or the other thing again. Or, oh, I need to stop this pain. It's more of a clear vision of who or what you love. It may be a sound. It may be a smell. It may be a visual. And it may be something that's deeper than that, more ancient than that. All of the senses coming together as one ball of love. And that's what I'm talking about here. This is the love that I wonder about in you. So, who are you? And not, well, I was born to this and I'm a son, daughter of that. And maybe that is you. Maybe that is who you are. But I'm thinking a little bit more of really, who are you? And maybe you'd say, well, I'm a banker. I'm an artist. I help people. I want to be on stage. I am on stage. I deeply love words. Now, you're starting to think in that way? Because that is a little more who you are. I deeply want to help people. I deeply love words. I need to fly. That might be who you are. Who are you? Now, let's get a little deeper here. You are this thing, this person, this curiosity, this bundle of loving words, this bundle of really wanting to feel. Here's the thing I'll say about me. I like to have what I call an analog experience. That means I want to feel. It doesn't mean no technology. It doesn't mean that whatsoever. But I don't want any technology or any person or any structure or anything to make it feel easy. I want the struggle that I have. I don't want to create more struggle for myself. I want to have the struggle that there is, because that is the pith of why I'm here and what I'm learning. I want to, even though sometimes it's maybe a little much to hear an engine without a muffler, right? It can be, I'm a headachy person. Is that who I am? Well, it's the existence that I have, and I get more friction when there's a whole lot of noise sometimes. But do I want to have no noise from a vehicle? No, because I really like feeling cornering, and I really like hearing the sound it makes, and I like being in tune with that. And it's a machine. I'm pretty intuitive. I can feel what's going on in people. I can sense a lot of things. In my machine, I need to have those subtle mechanical differences, those subtle industrial smells, and the feel of the machine in order to really have that relationship. I need to feel the tires gripping the road. So this is an analog experience. It's nothing to do with not having a machine, but I don't want it made smooth for me. Can I enjoy smoothness? Absolutely, but I don't want it made smooth for me. I want the smooth to be smooth when it's smooth, and the rough to be rough when it's rough. So that's part of who I am. I think in a creative way. All of my processes are toward the creation of the new, of solutions, of forging relationships with the world and the environment that I'm in. Not being a passive bystander, and not reacting to it, though we all do that, but to actually creating that relationship. That is part of who I am too. So creative, analog. And so are you starting to get what these questions are? And yes, I love to write music. I deeply love music. I deeply love birds. I deeply am absolutely wrapped up in turtles. They mean a lot of things to me. I have a very easy relationship with dogs. What do you have an easy relationship with? What do you deeply love? And that is getting to that last question on this, right? So, but we're going to skip that at the moment. So this what do you love is part of who am I? Who am I? I'm a lover of birds. Okay. Who am I? I need to feel what I'm doing. And I love that feeling. I would miss that feeling. Now, what do you want? There's that next question. What do you want? And if you don't know, go back to the first question. This is not what you need. This is not any sort of survival. This isn't really anything to do on a fundamental level with Maslow's hierarchy of needs. This is you. What do you want? I want to be peaceful. I want to be calm. I want to help people. I want to help forests. I want to help whales. I want to play with words all my life. I want to write music. These are things that go back to who are you? If you don't have that stuff, do you want it? If it really speaks to you, do you love it? And there, and oh, hello, Tommy Thompson. Yes. So, Tommy, we're asking the questions of who are you, what do you want, and what do you love? And right, I just got done with the who are you, and I was saying that I'm analog, and that doesn't mean I don't like machines, but it means I want to feel my cars, I want to smell my cars, I want to feel the tires gripping the road, and that I am creative and I create my relationships and my solutions. I'm not passive to them, I'm not reactive to them. That's part of who I am, and that I really love birds. I have an easy way with dogs. And music. I think musically. I completely think musically. So that's part of who I am too. So start asking yourself, who are you? And it's not about, I'm from Iowa, I'm from the Southwest, I am from India. This is who you are, aside of maybe a part of your parents, your sisters, your brothers, your ancestors, and part of mostly the you in it, the feelings, the strengths. This is what it is that you are, what at your fundamental, your baseline being, what and who you are. And then for those who have come late, we were just moving on to what do you want? What you want is, I want calm. I want peace. Part of my desire for calm has led me to realize how important it is to my relationships with people and my relationships with the world around me. And that calm is something that I've taken into my life purpose, which before was not entirely understood. I understood that I was a healer, but I didn't admit it. And I understood that music came easily to me. I didn't understand how differently it came to me from other people, because it came with all sorts of colors and minerality, and it was there in the beginning. It was just there, like the colors of the rainbow, distinct as could be, right from the time I was as early as I can remember. That's my language. What you want has to do with what you realize is part of what you have, but is not fully realized. For me, I didn't have the peace necessarily. Sometimes I did. Sometimes I could sit in a tree and have peace. And sometimes I could sit in a tree and have space. That's something else. It's about me. I need a lot of space. And it's a mental space, it's a physical space, it's a metaphorical space. It's space. I need space. My ideas are very expansive. And so I started to realize that creating my own peace was creating my own space for my expansiveness, for my creation. So it just keeps coming to me, because who do I know better than me, right? And this is you. This is where you should be. This is not a selfish activity in any way. This is a self-love activity, and this is an incredible time to find really your purpose, your being, and how you will go forth. Because in the end, love is what there is. You can come around to it. You can go through all the loss. You can go through all the different things, and that everything in war and peace and industry, everything in loss and struggle and survival, it comes down to that there is love. If you can't survive, if you just plain can't survive, and that all becomes moot, right? But no, when we can't survive, we have to surrender to not surviving, and we return to love. So, what do you want? I want calm. I can experience the love in calm. I can think clearly in calm. I can heal in calm. I can communicate in calm. And many of us are not calm. In fact, no one's calm all the time. This body of ours gives us all sorts of feelings and chemicals and physical things that are not who we are inside, but they're really important, and they keep us safe. And in this safety, in this space, when we feel safe, when we feel bodily safe, there's a certain amount we can relax, right? When we feel emotionally safe, we start getting creative. We start feeling love. We start having purpose. These are deeply important questions. These are the things that affect our life on earth, our life in humanity. What we can feel when we're calm is all the possibility, and we don't have those possibilities when we're not calm. So again, I came about, I loved art, loved creating art, food, wine, sommelier, chef, writer, composer, performer, visual artist, sculptor, jewelry maker, all these things, all creative and fantastic energy in that. But in order to do that all still, I needed calm. And in doing those things, I am calm. But when you get back to that hierarchy of needs and you're in that survival place, and we get close to that when we're not calm, all of a sudden, everything that's in this sack that we're in is telling us that we need to think about what's attacking us, what lack we have. And only when we can turn off the extra response to that, it's like a fire alarm in your house that just won't stop going off, right? Have you ever had that? Do you have the fire alarms with the 9-volt batteries if you're in the United States, and they go off at random times, and you're alarmed and there's no fire there? There might have been a whisk of smoke from something you were making in the oven because something burned on the bottom of it, or whatever. If that's going off all the time, then you're always at this heightened place, right? But you don't want to just not have the battery in your smoke alarm, or have no smoke alarm whatsoever. It keeps us safe. It lets us know that we don't have to constantly think, did I turn off that oven? Did I? Or the things that we go through. How many people here have ADHD and have burned things because of that? How many people have had dire circumstances because they wandered away? Yeah. You want to have things that keep you safe, but you don't need to be on high alert all the time. We need to be calm. So what I realize that I want is to be calm. It's a very simple thing. And there are a lot of parts of being calm. So let's get to, what do you love? Why do I want to be calm? Because I want to feel what it is that I love. I want to, and it comes back to who I am. I want to feel that analog experience. I want to feel the exquisite ecstasy of creating beautiful music, of creating beautiful words, of creating beautiful solutions, or exciting solutions, or exciting words, or exciting music, or whatever your adjective is. That's something that's deeply, deeply important to you. You are what you are experiencing, and you believe what you see. And a lot of what you see is there because you are involved with it. And this belief, love, want, identity is, when we align it, is how we get to where we need to be. And it's also, we've talked about this before, it's also how we heal. I knew what I wanted really deeply, and more what I loved when I was in dire straits. And I didn't know. I was told that I couldn't walk again. I was told that I would never be out of pain. And I saw my garden and I saw myself in bare feet in it. And I realized how much I love that. It wasn't just what I want. It's not just that I want carrots. It's not just that I want to be able to not have pain, though that's lovely. I wanted that experience. I wanted, and because I loved, and it was being told to me that I couldn't have it, when I couldn't walk again and would never be out of pain, that's what it meant to me, is that this is being taken away from you. And I said, no. And that's what I saw. And I said, I am fine. And I saw myself in that garden with my bare feet. That, and am I a gardener? Yeah, yeah. But I definitely am. But it's that relationship with the earth that was what I loved, and it looked like that. That's what you love. What do you see when all is being taken? You may see a child. You may see a sibling. You may see a relative. You may see water. It can be anything. I can't tell you what it is. But you know. So here we are now. We've talked about, have you looked at what you want? And have you written that down for yourself? Now, what about what you love? Is there anything that's really, really there? Not just, not just a who. So that's everything, I know. But what about the who? What about the feeling? Because what you love comes down to a feeling that you have when you are with that, or when you're experiencing that, or when you're smelling that, or when you're seeing that, when you're feeling that. That is where the love is. So while you're thinking about that, I'm going to tell you, I said I had an announcement, and I do. And that is that you might have noticed this is the finale of season 6 of the Tuesday telecast. And I also want to let you know that this is the last transmission of the Tuesday telecast. Today, I am going forth. This will still be available on YouTube, but I'm going to start 2 new podcasts, shows. So they're no longer going to be on Tuesday, but they might be on Tuesday. So there's not going to be any more Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern transmission. There's going to be 2 shows, and one of them is going to be more regular, and one of them is going to be more occasional. And I'm really excited about them. So the first one is Healing Between Thoughts. I hope you'll come and see Healing Between Thoughts. This is going to be a show that's not just about the everybody's journey to the joyful path and how they've overcome things and lifted themselves and are lifting others. Healing Between Thoughts is about the space between our thoughts, between our reactions, the space in which we really experience shifts and healing. It's a huge, it's a very specific thing, but it's also a huge subject. I'm really excited about it and getting into it with that space that between heart and soul and matter and our minds, and talking about that healing between thoughts. The other show that I'm starting is called Curious Awake. And I'm really excited for the conversations that are going to happen on Curious Awake. We're going to have group conversations with deeply curious individuals who have come to different ideas based on, and really change their minds based on their experiences and of being rattled and shaken. So Curious Awake is the other show that I'm starting, and that's my announcement. So while this is the finale of the Tuesday telecast, it's not the end of anything. It's just this book is closing. So I want to thank you for being here. And if you are still here and in the comments, and if you have any thoughts on what you want, or who you are, or what you love, if anything has started to come forth in you, if anything has started to either be shaken and stirred, or shaken or stirred, makes it sound like a martini. How is it that you figure out what you want? Or are you in a space where you don't know what you want? That's okay too. Totally okay. But it doesn't feel easy, does it? It's not a peaceful, easy feeling to not know what you want. But it is a peaceful, easy feeling to be content. So it might be that you want exactly what you have. So I'm just curious if you have any thoughts on this at all. Also, if anyone is brave enough to say something that they love, and what you love in the way of being devastated if it's taken away, of putting everything in your energetic power toward having that feeling again. Anyway, I'm not seeing any more in the comments of specific things that you necessarily love, and that's okay. This is deeply, deeply personal. But I want to thank you for being here. I hope that you will share this with your friends, because these questions are important. I hope that you will hit the like, and of course gently push the subscribe button, because the new shows, Curious Awake is going to be on the Joyful Path station. Healing Between Thoughts is going to be on the Joyful Path channel. And there's always the thank you, Tommy Thomas. I appreciate your posts and your shares. I just called you Tommy Thomas. Tommy Thompson is. I can sometimes when I'm doing shows, the words just flow, but they're not necessarily coming in. The speed of transmission is not necessarily coming in and going back out in at the same speed. Anyway, there's another show on my channel. Not another show, sorry, another list, which is all of the guided calm and healing meditations, music for ADHD, the music for sleep, things like that. And there's a lot more of that on my website and my membership, but I've got some of that stuff out there on the YouTube channel. So that same YouTube channel is the Joyful Path, and I hope that you will continue there. Again, please gently push the subscribe button, because it matters. It matters to people being part of these conversations. One conversation someday could bring someone to their purpose and save a life, or just directly save a life, or directly affect someone deeply. So again, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate you so much. Remember to explore these questions. Who are you? What do you want? And what do you love? Namaste. Bum ba da da dee da da dee da 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 da. Bum ba dee da da ba da 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 ba dum. Bum ba da dee da da dee da 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 dum. Bum ba da dee da da ba da 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 dum.